let's move on to another big spread. 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Bears 3-3, 1-2 on the road at Tampa Bay Buccaneers 5-1, 3-0 at home. We're at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. Jared Garrett says, "Poor David, poor David." Let's start with the market here. We have the Bears open up as 13-point dogs, now 12.5. This total opened up at 49. It's now 47. There's a 47.5. There's a 46.5 available at some shady books that we don't mention. And cash flow here, we have 6,178 tickets in. This is interesting. 46% of the tickets on the Bears, 66% of cash on the Bears. Then we have 58% of tickets on the under, 86% of cash on the under. All right, Bears come in off a 24-14 home loss to the hated Packers. Field 16-27, 174 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It's strange when you're watching Red Zone and you're following all these games. Even though the Bears game was really important to me, I didn't watch much of it. But I watched the opening drive, 80 yards. Khalil Herbert goes in for the score. And I'm like, fuck yeah, man. And then I'm not watching, and the Bears do absolutely nothing on offense. And then late in the game, with or in the fourth, so I get back in the fourth quarter, they have a touchdown drive to make it 17-14, and Fields just rolls down it like it's nothing, confident. And I'm like, what's going on? What's happening when I'm not watching? How could they not move the ball when I'm not watching? Herbert was great. 19 carries for 97 yards, caught 2 passes for 15 yards. He was excellent. Montgomery sprained knee on injury reserve. Damian Williams on reserve COVID-19 list. Williams should be back. Allen Robinson caught 4 passes for 53 yards. Komet caught 4 passes for 49 yards, but they couldn't get pressure on Rodgers. 3 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Defensive back Deion Bush left in the second half with a quad injury. He's listed as questionable this week. The Buccaneers coming off extra rest and preparations after their 28-22 win at Philly on Thursday night. Brady played with an injured thumb. And like you had predicted, Bebsie, he was excellent. And we should have bet all of his over props. I don't know why I didn't. It was simple. 34 of 42 for 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Antonio Brown caught 9 passes for 93 yards and a touchdown. Fournette ran 22 times for 81 yards, 2 touchdowns, caught 6 passes for 46 yards. He looks excellent. He looks like that, 4th overall or 5th. I can't remember his 4th overall, 5th overall pick, but he looks like that guy again. So the Buccaneers are missing cornerback Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy Bunting, safety Antoine Winfield. Then they lose Sherman to the hamstring injury, and nothing could be done. Levante David, linebacker, was so important, inactive, and nothing could be done. And you have to think there's a lot of similarities between the Eagles and the Bears offense. So take it away, Bebsie. Should the Buccaneers be this big of a favorite, and are you going to make a move?
Listen, I'll get it out of the way from the start. I probably won't make a move unless I somehow talk myself into it here. It seems like every time I bet Tom, I lose, but I want to bet the Bucs here. I can understand that if the Bears sitting where they were in the draft didn't think they had a shot at getting Justin Fields. And then they realized they could. They trade up, they grab him. But nothing about what I have seen indicates that Matt Nagy has adjusted what he does for his player. Like he is in no way, shape, or form game planned for Justin Fields. So what he's done positive, he's done without an offensive line, without a game plan, literally just on talent alone. I feel so sorry for him. I feel so sorry for Allen Robinson. I don't understand how guys like that keep their jobs so long when it's obvious to many people that he's out of his element. He's not going to come into this game with a better game plan. And for that reason, I think Tom is going to go to work on this defense. That is okay. It's a good defense, I would say, but certainly not good enough to stop this monster offense that the Bucs have. So I think the Bucs should roll. And the only thing that can keep this game close is if the Bucs are looking ahead or not really, thinking. If they get overly confident, then I could see a possible cover here. But until Matt Nagy shows me he can game plan for his own players, let alone another team, then I can't have any trust in the Bears.
It's well put. It's well put. Question we have on a poll that Jose just put up in the chat. I'd like you to answer this, Bebsie. Which of the three big dogs will cover this week? Lions plus 15, Bears plus 12.5, Texans plus 17.5.
Well, I mean, the best of those three teams is the Bears. But the 18.5, my vote would be for the Texans.
At this point, the 54, we have 26 votes in. 54% like the Bears plus 12.5, 27% like the Texans plus 17.5, and it just changed, 22% on the Lions but plus 15. That's a great poll, Jose. I loved it. I loved it. I do not know exactly what to do with these big spreads at this point. Clearly, I'm not making any moves on them. And I find them extremely fascinating games, and I don't think that we should just put them to the side because they're big spreads. I think there's money to be made on them. I just think they require more study, and at this point, if the Eagles couldn't take advantage of the Buccaneers' issues, I don't see. I mean, look, I think Fields is. I think that Fields should be able to take or have a better chance of taking advantage of this than Jalen Hurts. Would you agree that Fields is a better passer than Jalen Hurts?
Yeah. I mean, he's a more gifted passer for sure. I'm mad at myself. I told you, I texted you on the weekend when my Packers double up hit, how close I was to taking a triple up and grabbing Aaron Rodgers, which also would have hit. But I remember staring at that Justin Fields rush prop, was only sitting at 19.5, and he wound up with 40-something yards on the ground. And the only reason I didn't take it is it was one of those things where if something looks too good to be true, I always stay off of it. Because I was like, there's no reason why he shouldn't hit this. And he, of course, smashed it. He doubled it. And I think that would be my only look in this game is if they somehow undervalue his ability to scramble again in this game. I will look at that. But again, he's got some weapons, but he has no O-line, and they don't have a game plan. They don't have a strategy.
That was mentioned in the chat. That was given out in the chat. I'm trying to find it here, and I won't look too hard, and I'll just let it go. But we had a capper in the chat say, back Fields rushing yards over. I'm sorry that I remember reading. Oh, no, I can't. That's not it. Okay, so we'll just move on. We will move on. There's Nate Dogg 420 in the house. Great to see you, Nate Dogg. My God. And Robbie Tagaloa says NFL double-digit favorites equals a band.